start by adding 3/4 of a cup of warm milk to a bowl. That's 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we'll add 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast and 1/4 cup of neutral oil. Add in 1 tablespoon of sugar and give that a whisk. 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk and 1 teaspoon of salt. After whisked together, we can add in our flour. I'm using 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. Mix that together real quick with a spoon or a spatula and empty it out onto a floured work surface. If you have a stand mixer, that's going to be the best option, but I'm going to show you how to knead it by hand. This dough is going to be extremely sticky, so we're just going to have to work with it the best we can. Throughout this process, I'll have to oil my hands a few times and use a bench scraper. We'll start by folding this dough over and just giving it a light knead until it becomes too sticky, and then we'll move into doing some slap and folds. This dough is going to stick to the counter, stick to your hands, and stick to any working surface, so we're just going to have to keep working it the best we can. After about 5 to 10 minutes of letting this dough rest, I was able to come back with oiled hands and get this dough to where I really wanted it. After we got this dough into a nice smooth ball, we can place it in an oiled bowl. Cover it and let it rest for 1 hour. After our dough has risen or doubled in size, we can empty it out onto a floured work surface and portion it out. I'm using a food scale here and weighing these dough balls out to 2.2 ounces, but if you just divide it into 12 equal pieces, that should be fine. Now that we have our dough portioned out, we can go ahead and shape it. I'm just going to flatten out each piece, pull each corner to the center, and just keep overlapping until the dough becomes tight. Once the dough is into a pretty tight ball, we can flip it over and round it into a ball. There's a few ways to seal the bottom, but the best way is to cup it in your hand and do a circular motion and tighten it against the counter. You can just pinch the bottom to seal it and it should smooth out. Now that we've got our 12 dough balls on a parchment lined baking sheet, we can cover that and let it rest for another 45 minutes. After our buns have rested, we can put on the egg wash and the sesame seeds. The egg wash I'm using is 1 egg yolk and 1 tablespoon of milk. I used a little too much milk here, and so the egg wash is a little too runny. Go ahead and brush on your egg wash, and then we can add our sesame seeds. Now that our buns have been brushed with egg wash and sprinkled with sesame seeds, we can throw these in the oven at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. At about 10 to 12 minutes, go ahead and rotate these in the oven. Once our buns are golden brown, we can pull them out of the oven and place them on a wire rack to cool. Now that these buns have cooled, they are ready to stand up to any burger or sandwich you want to throw at it.